I stocked up on some 0.6 nozzles so I could test an extra fast profile I've been working on for months. And I'm finally there. I'm ready to share it with you with a practical print. I'll explain it all on today's Filament Friday. Filament Friday is brought to you by the generous donations of these Patreon supporters. In a previous video, I showed how my extra fast 0.4 profile was giving me faster and better results than the 0.6 nozzle standard profile in Cura. Now, some people commented in that video, why don't I modify the 0.6 profile? Some even called me lazy for not doing it. But what you didn't realize behind the scene, I have been doing that for months, on and off for months, been trying out an extra fast 0.6 profile, and I could not get the results that I wanted. Till now. Well, my son showed me a prop stop. It's a block you put on your boat motor to stop the propeller from moving so you can tighten or loosen the propeller. And I thought, well, I could 3D print that. He said, go ahead and try it. So this was my design I came up with. Very simple, but it's a perfect design to print with a 0.6 nozzle. But I really wanted to see if I could print it fast, and that's with my extra fast profile I developed here. So let me take you through the evolution of this thing, and then let's find out, did I really make it faster with my extra fast profile? Now you can buy one of these on Amazon for about $16, so it's not like we're saving a ton of money, but it's the idea that we can customize it to the way we want. I went to Tinkercad, and it didn't take long to make this. I used a block, and then I cut the slot, and then I rounded the tip at the top, and then I took out some plastic in the center with 2 holes just to make this thing a little easier to print and use less plastic. I brought this into Cura and realized it would fit on my Creality Ender 2 Pro. So that's what I'm going to use with a 0.4 nozzle. And just for reference, the low quality standard profile 0.28 with a 15% infill in Cura, once I sliced that, it said it would take 7 hours and 38 minutes to print. So I said that's my baseline. So now let's go back and let's try the 0.6 nozzle. I changed the setting here in Cura. Now I'm going to use the standard draft quality, which is a little rougher, 0.32 layer height. I'm going to keep the 15%. And now let's slice that. And what do we get? 4 hours and 20 minutes. A huge savings just by going to a 0.6 nozzle. Now let's go back to the 0.4. And I'll use my extra fast profile like I showed in that previous video. It's my Filament Friday version 5.1 extra fast 0.28. Keep the 15%. And I beat it again. 3 hours and 6 minutes. But now I have a 0.6 extra fast profile. It's a 0.44 layer height. I'll use the same 15%. And it doesn't require you to change the setting of the nozzle. It's all built into the profile. So when I slice it, 2 hours and 5 minutes. So I've gone from 7 hours and 38 minutes down to 2 hours and 5 minutes with my new profile and a 0.6 nozzle. Let's look at it in preview mode. I'll zoom in here too. It's 2 walls is a standard profile. You can increase that if you want more strength. I heated up the hot end, removed the filament, and then I could remove the nozzle. Then I grabbed one of the 0.6, put it in my tool, and tightened it into the hot end. From there I used my E-leveler tool at each corner and leveled the bed. The first layer went down very smooth. I was happy with that. And the print itself looks really good. Although I am getting some stringing, and that's typically caused by the PTFE tubing drying out near the nozzle. So I need to cut off that last 20 millimeters and fix it. Actual time to print was actually less than estimated, 1 hour and 56 minutes and 26 seconds. So now let's see if it fits. It slides on nice and tight, and the prop definitely hits it. And if you want to turn the prop the other way, just flip it over, slide it on, and the prop hits it from the other direction. So now you can put it in place, use the wrench to either tighten or loosen, depending on which side you put the block. This is going to work great. But I do want to make a few changes. I may want to try a triangular design on the inside so it's a little stronger and still use less plastic. All the testing has finally paid off, so I'm ready to share the profile. I'll share it as a .3mf file at a link in the description below. It'll include this file, the 0.6 profile, and my Ender 2 Pro machine profile. Now, some people say, why do I do it that way? And it's very simple, because this way you can take that exact .3mf file, bring it into Cura, and completely reproduce what I showed you in the video. And you get a G-code file out of it. And because it's on a small Ender 2 Pro bed, that G-code file can print on any machine, or just about any machine other than maybe a Prusa, and it'll print right in the corner. So if you have a bigger bed, it'll just print in the corner. If you have a medium-sized bed, it'll print in the front corner and also part of the center. But that way you can reproduce exactly what I did. And then if you have a Creality machine, that profile will show up because you load it into Cura. If you don't have a Creality machine, just modify the Creality profile to match yours, and you're ready to go. So that's why I do it as a .3mf file, so you can completely reproduce what I'm doing here. So go ahead, download the .3mf file and the link in the description below. It's free to download, and give me your thoughts. Did it work for you? If you like what I'm doing here, maybe check out some of the videos that are popping up. If you want to help support the channel, Patreon is one way. And if nothing else, click on that Filament Friday logo and subscribe. I'll see you next time right here at Filament Friday.